Hello students, now in this video we will start with a topic which is equipotential surface. We will start here with a topic equipotential surface. As you can see from the name only, what is the meaning of equi? The meaning of equi is equal potential. So a surface where the potential is equal at every point is called equipotential surface. Okay, so if the potential is becoming equal, then what what are what can be the types of that equipotential surface and what will be its properties that we need to see. First thing is that equipotential surface can be drawn through the regions of in which there is the electric field. This surface may be surface of body or surface in space. The formation of equipotential surface will depend on the type of medium. That is, the medium is isotropic or non-isotropic, and the amount of charge distribution. So we are now going to study about the equipotential surface of various charge system. First, we are going to study for a single charge which is plus q, isolated point charge. We are first drawing or finding the equipotential surface for an isolated pointed charge. Okay, suppose one charge plus q is there. Okay, so we know that the electric field lines always move away from the equipotential surface. It always emerges out from the plus q charge. Okay, and one more thing, we know that the formula is V equals to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught q by r, that is the potential at a distance small r from a charge plus q. From equation 1 it is clear that if r is a constant term, then V will be constant, because 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught is already a constant term, charge q is also a constant term. Thus the equipotential surface of a single point charge are the concentric spherical shell with the center lies on the point charge. You can see, if you take this distance, this is also equipotential surface. If you take this distance, this is also equipotential surface. The basic concept is that if the value of r is being same, then the value of potential will be same at all the points due to a single point or isolated charge. Okay, now next we can find it for uniform electric field. Uniform electric field, equipotential surface for uniform electric field. Uniform electric field is what? It is represented by equidistant parallel straight line. Okay, it is represented by equidistant parallel straight lines. Suppose this is one plane, then this is another plane, then this is one more plane. Okay, plane 1, plane 2, plane 3 are perpendicular to electric field, so we need to draw some electric field here. Suppose it is coming like this. Okay, potential is same at every point on the surface 1, so it is equipotential surface. Similarly, the potential V2 and V3 are same at surface 2 and 3, because we know that if the electric field is constant, if the electric field is being common, if it is like electric field is being uniform, the potential will be same for these two, then the potential will be same for these two. Like this we can go for. Now draw the equipotential surface for two equal and opposite point charge. Two equal and opposite point charge. Two equal and opposite point charge. Now we need to draw the equipotential surface for two equal and opposite charges. So we are placing two equal and opposite charges here. This is negative charge and this is positive charge. You can see here they are separated by a very small distance. So we can say that this is forming electric dipole also. The equipotential surface are close together in the region in between the two charges. And this way we can draw the equipotential surface for two opposite charges. You can see it is coming from positive to negative. In negative, many electric field lines are coming. In positive, from positive, electric field lines are moving out. So this is the equipotential surface for two equal and opposite charges. One more case is there. The equipotential surface for a pair of similar point charges, that you can do by yourself. Okay. Now we will study about the properties of equipotential surface. Now we need to study about the properties of equipotential surface. The first property is that no work is done in an equipotential surface. Why, sir, no work is done? Because we know that if we move, suppose there are 2 points A and B in our equipotential surface. So when we will move something from a charge from point A to point B, then that the work done, we write like this: the work done in moving a charge from point A to point B per unit test charge is given as the difference of potential between the two charges. But if the charges are on the equipotential surface, then there will be no difference. If there will be no difference, then this part will be 0, and if this part will be 0, then the work done will be 0. Hence, work done in moving a charge over the equipotential surface is always 0. Okay, because there is no difference of potential. Number 2 property, electric field is perpendicular to equipotential surface. How can we prove that electric field is perpendicular to equipotential surface? How can we prove that? We know that dw equals to E vector dot dl vector. Okay, and we know that the work done in an equipotential surface is 0. So this will be equal to 0. So we can write here that E dl cos theta is equals to 0. So if the value is, this is coming 0, it is possible only if the value of cos theta is 0. If the value of cos theta is 0, it is possible only if theta equals to 90 degrees. So we have proved that electric field and electric potential surface are perpendicular to each other. Angle between E vector and dl vector is 90 degree. And what is dl? dl is along the equipotential surface. Then E vector must be perpendicular to the equipotential surface. Okay. Third property, equipotential surface help us to distinguish the region of strong and weak electric field. Distinguish strength of electric field. We can distinguish between the region of strong and weak electric fields. How can we do? We know that E equals to minus dV by dr. Now we know that from here we can find that dr is equals to minus dV by E. In an equipotential surface, there is no difference of potential, so dV will be a constant term. Okay, and if the dV is becoming constant term, then we can write that dr is inversely proportional to E. Thus the spacing between the equipotential surface is lesser in regions of strong electric fields and vice versa, because electric field and dr is inversely proportional to each other. So we can say that wherever the spacing between the equipotential surface is less, the strength of electric field will be more, and wherever the space between the equipotential surface is more, the strength of electric field will be less. Okay. The fourth property I am not writing, but it is very easy, that no two equipotential surface intersect each other. Now why cannot? Because If they do, it means then at the point of intersection there will be two values of electric potential at the same place, which is not possible. Okay, I repeat myself. The fourth property is equipotent surface never intersect each other, because if they do, what does it mean? It means that then there will be the two values of potential at a same point at a same place because of the single charge, which is not possible, we know. So these are the properties of equipotential surface. Okay, now we will study about electric potential energy in the next topic. Now to understand electric potential energy, let us first define it. The electric potential energy of a system of point charges is defined as the total work done in bringing these charges to their respective position from infinity to form a system of charges. I repeat myself. The electric potential energy of a system of charges is defined as the total amount of work done in bringing these charges into their respective position from infinity to form a system of charges. Now first we will study about electric potential energy for a system of point charges. First we are studying about 2 point charges. Okay, suppose a point charge q1 is at rest at point A in space. So no work is done when we brought the charge q1 there, because there were no other charge to repel it or to attract it, so we didn't have to do any work there. Okay, so the work done for the charge q was 0. Now work is to be done to bring the charge q2 from infinity to the point B. Now why work done is required here? Because one charge q1 is already present there. It will exert an electrostatic force on the charge q2. Okay, and because of the electric field created by this charge, it will feel an electrostatic force. So to overcome that, we have to do some work. Okay, now let's suppose, now first what we will do, we will first find the electric potential at point B due to the charge q1, and it will be equals to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught. The resonant charge is q1 and the distance is r12. R12 is the distance of charge q2 from charge q1. Now we know that by definition, work done in bringing the charges from infinity to the point B. Now we need to find the work done to bring the charge from infinity to this point. We know that work done is equals to potential into charge. Work done is equals to potential into charge. What is the potential? This is the only potential. And what is the charge? The charge that we are bringing. So q2. So the formula is becoming 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught q1 q2 by r12. This is the second work done, because this is the work done we are doing to bring the second charge. The work done to brought the first charge was 0. So the total work done, which will be termed as electric potential energy of a system of 2 point charge here, will be W1 plus W2, which will be equivalent to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q1 Q2 by R12. This is the amount of potential energy of a system of two charges. Now if we write in a vector form, what we need to do, we know that R12 can be written as R2 vector minus R1 vector mod. Okay, this is the position vector. Now we can put this value here. So in the vector form, it will be 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught q1 q2 divided by mod r1 r2 minus r1 vector. Okay, this is the electric potential energy of a system of two charges. The electric potential energy of a system of three charges you can do by yourself. I'm just writing the final formula for the electric potential energy of a system of three charges. The value will be For 3 charges it will be 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught into q1 q2 by r12 plus q1 q3 by r13 plus q2 q3 by r23. This is the electric potential energy for a system of 3 charges. Now from here we will try to find the electric potential energy of a system of charges. If there is, suppose that there is n number of charges, then what will be the electric potential energy of the system? Electric potential energy of system of n point charges. So electric potential energy of a system of n point charges will be termed as, the final formula will be half summation of qi vi, where the value of I will range from 1 to n, where n is the total number of charge. This is the formula to find the electric potential energy of a system of n charges. Half taken outside, then summation I equals to 1 to n qi vi. Now let us write some relation between potential energy and electric potential and charge. Okay, so we can write the topic as potential energy in an external field. Potential energy in an external field. If we write the potential energy in an external field, we know that W equals to QV. Okay, so if the W equals to QV, then U will also be equals to QV, because we know that the work done is only stored in the form of energy. After that, if the charge is located at a distance small r, so we can write from here that U equals to Q, V in bracket we can write R. The meaning of this is that the charge is located at the distance small r. Now from here you can find that V is coming equals to U by Q. So we can define that electric potential at a point in an external field as the potential energy of a unit positive charge at that point. Okay, this was for a single charge. This was for a single charge. Now suppose if there is system of 2 charges, then what will happen? If it is a system of 2 point charges, then the final result will be U equals to Q1 V1. Suppose the first particle has the distance R1, then Q2 V2, the second particle at distance R2, then plus Q1 Q2 by 4 pi epsilon naught R12. This is the value of the electrical potential energy when it is a system of 2 charges in respect of charge and the potential. This can be expressed as work done in bringing the charge Q1 from infinity. This can be expressed as work done in bringing the charge Q2 from the infinity. And suppose first we bought this charge, then when we are bringing this charge, there will be a force on this charge because of this charge. So the work done on charge Q2 against force exerted by Q1 is this one, 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q1 Q2 by R12, which we did here also, this one. Okay, so now what we will do, we will find the potential energy of a dipole in a uniform electric field. In the next class, what we can do in the next class, we will do the further topic. Now we can find electric potential energy of a dipole in a uniform electric field. Now we will find the potential energy of a dipole when it is placed in a uniform electric field. So first thing is that why there will be any energy. Suppose this is electric field, this is a parallel uniform electric field, equispaced line, so the electric field is uniform and the value of electric field is E vector. Suppose we place a dipole like this is minus q charge, this is plus q charge. This plus q charge will be attracted, will be having a force in this direction, and this minus q charge will feel a force in this direction, because we know that the direction of electric field is always from positive to negative. So this negative side will attract this positive side, there will be a force. This positive side will attract this negative charge, there will be a force. The value of force we also know, it is QE and QE. Here the charge is plus QE plus Q, so force will be plus QE. The charge is minus Q, the force will be minus QE. Now we know that when two equal and opposite forces acts, they form a they form a torque, okay, and it will they will try to rotate the dipole in the direction of the electric field. So there will be a work done. That work done is stored in the term in form of potential energy. Okay, so that we need to find. So consider electric dipole having charges minus q plus q placed in uniform electric field E vector separated by a distance of 2a. Suppose the dipole moment is given by P vector and the dipole is making an angle theta with the direction of electric field. Force on this charge is becoming plus QE. Force on this charge is minus QE. Net force on the dipole is 0 because this is plus QE, this is minus QE. So net force should be 0. But two equal and opposite forces act at two ends of the dipole. These two forms a couple, and when they form a couple, they will be acting a torque, and torque we can find by the force and the perpendicular distance multiplication. Force can be here any QE, and this perpendicular distance between these two forces is BC. So now in order to find BC, you can see here this is a right angle triangle. If you find sine theta, it will be perpendicular by hypotenuse AB. So BC will be equals to AB sine theta, and the value of AB is the length of the dipole, that is 2a sine theta. So at the place of perpendicular distance we can write here BC. Now force we will write QE, and the BC is 2a sine theta. It will be 2a QE sine theta, and we know that 2aq is dipole moment, so it can be written as PE sine theta. Okay, now suppose this is a torque. Now if the dipole is rotated through a small angle d theta, then what will be the amount of work done? We know that work done equals to force into displacement, but here when the force is torque, that is rotatory force, then the displacement will also be angular. Suppose it has been rotated by a small angle d theta, then what will be the work done? Work done will be equals to force into displacement, that is tau d theta. Okay, but we need to find W. So in order to do that, we need to integrate it. We will integrate both the sides. Here we will need to integrate theta, so we will give the limit from theta 1 to theta 2. Now we can see here that it will be theta 1 to theta 2. The value of tau is PE sine theta d theta. You can see here P and E are the constant term that can be taken outside, or you can keep it inside also. There is no matter for that. Simply the integration of sine theta, we know it is minus, so it will be minus PE cos theta. Upper limit we will write here, lower limit we will write here. Okay, then we will take minus PE outwards, and we will put upper limit minus lower limit formula. It will be cos theta 2 minus cos theta 1. Okay, so the work done is coming minus PE cos theta 2 minus cos theta 1. If we take negative common from here, now minus common from here, then the potential energy, which is equals to work done, will be positive PE cos theta 1 minus cos theta 2. This is the final formula for the potential energy of a dipole when it is placed in uniform electric field and rotated from angle theta 1 to angle theta 2. If suppose the initially the dipole is oriented perpendicular, that is theta 1 is 90 degree and it moves toward this to a angle theta, that is theta 2 equal to theta, then the value here will be minus PE cos theta, because this value will be 0, cos 90 is 0, then we can write it like this, that minus P vector dot E vector, because we know that cos theta is a vector product. Okay, after that we can do some special cases. For the position of stable equilibrium, we know that for the position of stable equilibrium theta is 0, and when the theta will be 0, it will be simply minus PE. Special cases, when theta is becoming 0, it is known as stable equilibrium. So it will be u equals to minus PE cos 0, which is equals to minus PE. Okay, hence the potential dipole is minimum when its dipole moment is parallel to the external field. This position is called stable equilibrium. And the number 2, unstable equilibrium, is when the theta is equal to 180 degree, then the cos 180 will be minus 1, and when we put the minus value here, it will be u equals to PE, which is becoming the maximum value of the potential energy when it is placed anti-parallel to the electric field. And number 3, for zero energy, theta is always equals to 90 degree, which is then if the theta value is 90 degree, then the value of cos 90 will be 0. So u will be 0. Hence the potential energy of the dipole is 0 when it is held perpendicular to the electric field. We can explain it as if we hold a perpendicular dipole perpendicular to the field and bring it from infinity into the field, then the work done on the charge plus q by the external agent is equal to work done on the charge minus q. Work done on charge is 0, and hence its potential energy is 0. This is all for today. And the next video we will study about a new topic of this chapter, which is capacitance. Okay, and before that we will try to solve some numericals.